today I'll be reviewing this brand new documentary. It is on Netflix. It's called Cold Case The Tylenol Murders. This brand new documentary. It has 3 episodes and it tells the story about this thing happened with over-the-counter medication named Tylenol. Who has not taken this pill? Wow, watching this documentary, it was just like unbelievable. It was very, very interesting. Same time, it's just like wow. So in this documentary, we see in 1980 Chicago, these 7 people, like these 7 people, they're very like different from each other. They're a different age group. And like they were not feeling that good, so they took Tylenol like everyone else. And after taking the Tylenol, like the next day or so, these 7 people basically they just die. And doctor back then, they couldn't figure out like what happened, like why these people are dying after taking Tylenol. So after doing some investigation, they figured out that this Tylenol are like cyanide contained, and somehow they became contamination with the cyanide, and these Tylenols are killing people. So back then, this company, they had to recall like more than 1 million bottle of Tylenol basically. So this documentary explored back then how difficult it was to conduct this investigation and all these people's death. That is why I guess end of this documentary, it will leave people very unsatisfied, because while this documentary, it is just like absolutely mind-blowing if you don't know anything about it, or if you don't know what was happening. And especially James Lewis, who is the center of all this investigation. So if you don't know anything about it, or like you never heard of it, watching this documentary, it's just like so good. It is very captivating and very engaging. However, as the documentary goes on and we reach to the last part, and all this reporter who worked on this, and all the detective who've been working on this, and when we reach to that part, unfortunately this documentary, I feel like for me, like didn't answer all the question I was looking for, and I felt very frustrated. So that is I guess the only bad side about this documentary. But watching this documentary, it was just absolutely captivating. I was edge of my seat, and the center of all of this, James Lewis, and he was just like blackmailing the company. Even listening to his story, I was just like, wow, this is very like a deep investigation. It took place in 1980 Chicago. That being said, how come they'd have not the suspect yet? Like it shouldn't be that hard, right? Because like where this capsule came from, like you just find out. It's not that difficult, I feel like personally, because this batch of Tylenol probably came from that factory. Like why it's so hard to so that's why I did feel very frustrated end of it. I guess I was like just like what. I really felt bad for all this victim. Like you really feel bad. But overall, this documentary is just so well put together. Like even though I'm saying like it is very frustrating, but end of it, I guess it still is very interesting. This story is really very interesting. Even after all this year, watching this documentary, it is just so captivating. As the audience, you really feel invested in this. Although you may not like the ending, but it is very captivating. Overall, I was just like really. Like I see this documentary is already trending on Netflix, because this is very interesting. I bet a lot of people are familiar with this story and investigation. So I personally never heard of it. So for me, I was just like, wow, this was very interesting. So I personally did like this documentary. I thought it was quite good. That I overall thought it was really good. Like I see this documentary, it is getting like around 6 and 7 on IMDb. So if I had to rate this, this is kind of like that. This documentary is like, if I had to give star, it is kind of like a 10 out of 6-star type documentary. And I do think it's really worth checking. And that's my thought on this. Let me know in the comment what do you think about this documentary. If you enjoyed this review, don't share other reviews on other documentary. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and like the next time. Please take care.